That's been hard because unhappiness mixed with anxiety is not a good combination. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. A lot of you guys have asked me to do a video of how we met. So we're gonna do a how we met kind of story time, and then we're also gonna do like a paramedic school update because so much has happened in the last few months since he started paramedic school. So we're gonna kind of do both of those in one since we don't have a lot of time to film together. We are here actually celebrating our anniversary today. This is our wedding anniversary, 6 years. We're up at Europa Village in Temecula and it's beautiful here. Perfect day, perfect weather. I guess we'll just jump right in. So how we met.
So I went to a church called Cross Point Church, and we had gone there for, well, I had gone there for about 10 years prior to, probably 9 years prior to meeting Kaylee, and had grown up, and her uncle was the pastor of the church, and so I knew her, or I knew the family and everybody, but I didn't necessarily know her. And one day we were in college group, and there was this new girl that walked in, and it was Brian's niece is what everybody said. That was her uncle's name, and she was, in my mind, the new hot girl in college group, and so I was like, perfect, I am gonna not talk to her because I don't want to be that guy that hits on the new hot one. And so
now mind you, this whole time I'm thinking this guy is married or in a serious relationship because he was paying me like no attention at all. Like he didn't even look my way that I noticed. So prior to Kaylee, I'd only had ever dated one girl for not even that long, and so I never really had a big following when it came to girls or women as a whole. I was pretty much friend zoned by any girl that ever talked to me, and so my standards were they have to talk to me, and they have to be cute in my mind at least, and so luckily Kaylee fit both of those descriptions. I'm just kidding, but on a serious note, yes, I was friend zoned by like every single girl ever, and so all of a sudden this girl started talking to me, and I was like, oh cool. I just started talking with her, and then she asked for my phone number, and the rest is history from there. How did I ask you? So we were in the middle of watching Star Wars, actually. I love Star Wars, and we're in the middle of watching it, and with a group. Yeah, we were with a group. Yeah, everybody after, on Wednesdays we had college group, and so after college group we all went back to his house to watch a movie. So we were all sitting in the garage on this big U-shaped couch watching Star Wars. And so we're watching it, and this girl keeps bugging me. I'm trying to watch Star Wars, but this girl keeps bugging me and talking to me, so we're talking, whatever, and then at the end of the night, she goes, hey, we should all exchange phone numbers so that way we have everybody's phone numbers. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she turns to me and says, hey, can you text me so I can text you my number? And I go, what? She says, text me so I can text you my number. And at this point, I'm kind of looking at her like, do you know what you're saying? And then she starts getting really frustrated and agitated. She's like, text me. Oh. I did not think about it. I was so nervous because I just wanted his number, but I didn't know like how to ask him for his number, and I didn't think he was gonna ask mine because I thought he was so like, whatever, like he wasn't interested. So I was like, well, I need to get his number, and so I was a nervous wreck. So I messed that one up, but he gave me his number after that. It somehow worked. So yeah. Since then, every single day until we got married. Well, the next morning I texted her, good morning, how are you? And since then, every single morning, I've either seen her in the morning because we're now married, or I text her in the morning saying, how was your night? Yeah, we dated for a year before we got married, and every single morning he would text me good morning, and then it turned into like good morning beautiful and all that. And then his last good morning text was the morning of our wedding. So, and now he just gets to say good morning. Before I even moved to Temecula, what was kind of like where you were at with dating? So before that, I had gone on like a date or two with a couple different people over I don't know, 6 or 8 month span, and I actually invited a different girl to college group the night that I met Kaylee, and she never showed up. And then she texted me, I think that night, and like she was sick or something like that, and so I was like, oh, okay. And then that night, that's when I met Kaylee. And then from then on, I had never texted another girl. So
yeah, he never texted her back, and then I mean, we started talking.
It's not that I didn't text her back, I just didn't pursue a relationship.
Yeah, but he was just looking for that relationship. He knew when he was 15 years old that he wanted to be married and have a son named Joshua.
Yep, I've had that name picked out since I was 15.
So he knew what he wanted, and he just wasn't finding it. He wasn't really finding the woman that he could see being his wife. And then we met, and it's funny because he actually prayed and was like, okay, God, whatever woman you have for me, she's gonna have to like come at me and come for me because I'm done, I'm discouraged, like I'm done dating or whatever. And then that's what happened. I came to college group and I just like came at him. He was like, okay. And my side of the story, I guess, I moved up from San Diego and I moved in with my uncle, and I just kind of needed a change of life. So I moved in with him. He's like, my only thing is I want you to go to church. And I was like, that's fine, I can sit through church. So I started going to church. I don't know if it was like the first time or like after a few times of going, he was up on stage playing piano. And I just have this thing for musicians. Like, I don't know, I love music, and so seeing a man play music is like heart-throbbing for me. So he was up there playing piano, and it was like, wow, like he's super good looking. I knew he looked young because he had a total baby face when I met him. And I was like, he looks kind of young, but I was just hoping and praying that he was like at least old enough to where like dating wouldn't be too bad. And we're 2 years and 9 months apart. I refuse to say 3. So
she's a cougar.
I am older than him. But so I saw him playing piano, and I was like, wow, I just loved like his face and his jawline, everything. I just was like, oh my gosh, just the tan skin, light eyes, and like a dark blonde hair. I just was like, I melted. So then I saw that he was in college group, and I'm thinking like, okay, like I could do this. And then, but then he wouldn't look at me, he wouldn't talk to me, and I'm thinking like, okay, he's either married or in a very serious relationship, because I had hair and makeup, I had like these cute little boots on, like I was all dressed up and everything, and he didn't even look at me. So I thought I was out, that wasn't gonna happen. But then when we were on our way to his house to hang out and go watch a movie, and I was with one of my friends in there, in college group, and I was like, so like what's the deal with everybody? And she starts to like talk about like who's who, and I was like, okay, well what about Patrick? Like I just want to know about Patrick. And I was like, is he dating somebody? She's like, oh no, he's single. And I was like, okay. All right,
I could do that.
I could do that. So as soon as I knew he was single, I was very confident in my game. I don't know if that's what you want to call it. So yeah, I mean the whole movie, he was trying to watch Star Wars. I still,
because it's Star Wars.
I don't know if I've ever even watched through an entire movie of Star Wars. I don't think you've watched an entire one. Not interested. I was interested in him. But yeah, so we're talking the whole time, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this guy is just so like, he totally captured me. Like he was just so sweet, so cute, so just like, I don't know, like he wasn't trying to impress me. He wasn't trying to like.
That's my Wookiee sound.
He did do that. That was really cute. That is seriously what got me. We were watching the movie, and all of a sudden like a scene came on, and mid-sentence I was like talking to him about something. Mid-sentence he just threw his head back and made that sound, and I was like, that was like the cutest thing ever. I don't know why, it was funny. So yeah, I mean, we started dating, and then after 7 months of dating we got engaged, and then we got married. So we started dating October 27th.
Nope.
Oh, sorry, that's our anniversary. We started dating October 30th. His first date was taking me to the pumpkin patch. And then...
And Olive Garden.
And Olive Garden. Yeah, so we're actually gonna go visit that pumpkin patch today. And we got married October 27th. So just shy of a year of when we started dating. So, yeah, I mean, that's...
Worked out so far.
So far. I'd say it worked out pretty well.
Worked out pretty well.
So, that's how we met. And you were 19 when we met?
I was 19 when we met, and I turned 20 and we
got
married.
So yep. Yeah, I started going to college group in August, and he had turned 19
turned 19 in August, and then we started dating in October,
and then I turned 22 that November.
Yep.
Yeah, and then when we got married, it was just a year later.
Yep.
So okay, so now for our paramedic school update, because there's a lot there.
So right now we're 9 weeks into paramedic school. So paramedic school is about a year long, but really this first
chunk.
Wait,
we're how many months?
Weeks.
Oh.
9 weeks.
I was like, 9 months? What?
No.
Okay.
We're 9 weeks into paramedic school so far. This first chunk though is really the difficult chunk. It ends the second week of December, I believe. December 12th or 13th is our last day. So we just found out all of our grades. And so right now, about half the class is passing pathophysiology, which is the really difficult class that if you fail out of paramedic school, usually it's because of that class. And I'm one of the people that are passing. So overall, I'm doing really well. It's definitely just putting in the time and the effort and the work into it. Having to miss family time, having to miss bedtime routines, having to miss dinners, all of that, so that way I can study. It's sacrificing now, so that way we're setting ourselves up so that way we can I can get a job as a firefighter paramedic. That way I can provide for our family, and that way we can move out and have our own place and do our own thing. And so right now we're 9 weeks into a 16-week semester is the way I'm viewing it, just taking it one chunk at a time. And once I get through this first chunk, they say once you get through the first 16 weeks, then it's I get a two-week break, luckily at Christmas, so that'll be nice just to enjoy family time. But once that happens, then it'll be really nice just to be able to do that.
I haven't told them about the huge news. There's something that we have to talk about and share, but we can't share it yet. And I don't know when we will.
Hopefully I can share it in about 4 weeks.
Okay.
But it's about a potential job.
Yes. Okay, so back to medic school.
So once that's done, I get 2 weeks at Christmas, which will be nice just to spend them with the family. As far as I know, we won't have any or a lot of homework, just because that'll just be kind of our break time, end of the semester, and then we'll be starting a new 6-week. So they do a 16-week fall, just like community college, 6-week winter, 16-week spring, and then a 8-week summer. I want to say that's what it is. So I believe in the spring, or in the winter, I think we're doing 3 days in the winter, we're doing 2 days in the winter, just Wednesdays and Thursdays. So that'll give me another day off, which will be nice. But then starting then is when we do our clinical rotation. So we get to go to like a burn center, a trauma center, work in an OR, be able to kind of do some hands-on stuff. So that'll be fun and exciting. And kind of just the next step into medic school. And after that, finish out class times, and then once the summer comes, I'll be doing my preceptor time, which pretty much just means I go out and ride out with an ambulance company, and then I ride out with a fire company, and I get to be the paramedic in charge, and their paramedic watches me and sees how I do, and sees how I'm doing, and they pretty much decide whether or not I'm clinically ready to go out and work as a paramedic by myself. So
yeah. Talk about, like, okay, so that's kind of how paramedic school goes, just so you guys have an idea of like kind of what he's doing and what he's kind of going into. But talk about, like, how is it being in school, having a family, and missing all of these things? Like, he literally he's barely home.
Yeah, the best way I can describe it is it feels like I'm on deployment. And I know, like, for those of you guys who have been in deployment, I know it's a little bit different, just because you go and you're physically away from everybody, and you have to just do what you're doing. And I'm not taking anything away from that, but I was talking to my buddy, and parts of that are easier in the sense of, all right, you don't have to think about home, you don't have to think about family, you don't have to do that because you're just gone. Or the same thing with a business trip. You're just gone, so you don't have to really think about, oh, well, I could be doing this with my family or this, because you're just doing it and going. Whereas for me, I have to consciously, like, choose to walk away from the house every day to go study.
Like, so, like, he comes home, he'll come home, say hi for a minute or whatever, because he needs to shower and change, and then he goes to study. So it's like, you know, and the kids get all excited to see him. So it's like to come home and see us and the kids, and then to have to just leave.
I think that's the worst part too, like having like Annabelle or Joshua like crying as I'm leaving, knowing that I have to leave to go study, because if I don't go study, then I'm not going to pass paramedic school. And so
That's, I think, the hardest part, is knowing that I'm physically able to go home and spend time with the kids, but that I mentally have to just have that discipline of, no, this is a time that you need to study. And so for me, the biggest thing is just making sure that I schedule out those times where I do spend with the kids. So scheduling, more recently, I've been coming home on Monday, Tuesday nights just a little bit earlier so I can do just bath time with them. And even though it's only 30 minutes, it's time where I get to see them and they get to see me, and I know it helps Kaylee out a little bit, and then I go back to studying. But just little bits of time just to spend with the kids, I think has been the biggest thing. And I think throughout this process it'll be an adjustment as far as what that looks like, timing wise and with what season we're in. But that's at least how it is for me in medic school right now. It's not easy, that's for sure. It's definitely the most difficult, one of the most difficult things I've done, mentally, physically, emotionally.
Well, he went through the fire academy back before we started dating, so it's like he's gone through the fire academy. He was an EMT for an ambulance company, so it's like he's been in the field and he's very familiar with how the field is. But when you have a family back at home, it completely changes, because he was a single man during that time, and so it was a completely different mindset. So it's a lot harder, you know. No, we wouldn't regret it all the way that we did it. Like, we knew we wanted a family. By the time our 5-year anniversary, we knew we wanted at least one kid. So
now we get two.
We knew that this is what we wanted. We knew that we wanted to get married for a few years and then have kids, and just kind of our like, we had our careers. I'm a hairstylist, and he knew he had his fire career kind of on the back burner, and was just pursuing management in and out just to kind of see where that would go. But we knew, like, he could always go back to fire if he wanted to, because he was still so young. So when we were living in Colorado, that's when he decided, you know what, I still have a huge passion for doing fire and paramedic. Now's a great time. The kids aren't in school, they're still pretty young. Yeah, it's really hard on me at home with the kids, but it'll be worth it right now.
But we were able to build the foundation of our marriage to be able to last. True. I couldn't imagine trying to go through paramedic school and get married at the same time. That first year of marriage, trying to build a foundation in our marriage, and especially everything that we went through the first year with just working through your triggers and working through everything, and then on top of that, doing paramedic school, having to go, babe, I emotionally can't be there for you. I couldn't attend to you, and I know that would have definitely been really difficult if that's how we did it the first year of marriage.
What's going on with me at home with the kids, it's I don't even know how to explain it, honestly. Like, it was a lot harder than I expected, but it's also a different dynamic. Like, so we live with his parents. They have a son who's 7, so they kind of have their own routine with their 7-year-old that they have to do with, like, getting his homework done and getting him ready for bed and everything like that. So I mean, when there's times like where it's like really bad or whatever, one of them will come in and help me, but for the most part I'm kind of doing it on my own, as far as just getting them ready for bed, you know, bath time and everything. I think one of the most stressful parts is, like, I just feel alone a lot. Like, I feel like a single parent. Like, I'm the one punishing, I'm the one changing diapers, doing all the laundry, and my mother-in-law, like, we kind of have different nights as far as who cooks and stuff. So I'm not doing all the cooking every single night, and usually his mom's doing a lot of the grocery shopping right now, because trying to take both kids out grocery shopping is hard. My grandmother-in-law has been coming over once a week and just babysitting so that I can go to the grocery store, so that's been really helpful. So, like, I have help, but it's not a whole lot. But they work full-time, and they have a kid too, so it's just a different dynamic. But it just gets really stressful because a lot of the stuff I feel like falls on me, and then, you know, all the stuff that and then I'm trying to support him through medic school and trying to make sure his, you know, lunchbox is cleaned out, and his he literally comes home and just dumps it, and then I have to clean it out, otherwise he won't wash it. So, you know,
I would wash it if it looked dirty.
Sometimes.
If it looked dirty.
But yeah, just like washing and ironing his uniforms, just making sure he has everything he needs and food for the week and stuff. So it's getting pretty stressful, but, like, we have our friends that that I go over, and they have kids too, so the kids get playtime. I will start Joshua in preschool next year. Our goal is to be moved out of his parents' house by the time he gets out of school, so we'll kind of see if job opportunities come up and change that, then then it'll be sooner than a year. But right now, this is the situation, the circumstances that we're in. To be very honest, I'm having a very hard time finding happiness with those circumstances. I have a great support system and great family around me. It's just hard because they kind of have to do their own thing too. Like, they have their full-time jobs and they come home and just want to rest, which is totally understandable. So it's just kind of hard because he's not around, and I've called him one day. He was studying, and I was like just in tears because I was having a really hard time with something. I was like, I just need to talk about this, and he said it nicely, but he's like, I can't, like, I need to study. I can't talk to you about this right now. And it just broke me, and it just made me realize, like, this sucks. This sucks, and this is just how it's gonna be until he gets out of school. So honestly, I'm just trying to, like, every day find better habits and just trying to, like, find my happiness. I also struggle with really bad anxiety, and lately it really wasn't that bad after I had Annabelle. It was actually really good. But lately, I think because of life circumstances, my anxiety has been skyrocketing lately. So I've been dealing with that, and that's been really hard on both of us because he knows to the extent that my anxiety will get, and it's hard that he can't, like, be there when he wants to be. Like, he's always been my #1 go-to with anxiety, but he's not available for me, so I have to find other ways and resources to deal with that. That's been hard because unhappiness mixed with anxiety is not a good combination. So yeah, I mean, it sucks. It really, like, that's it, it sucks. If people go through this experience with bliss, I admire you and I want to know how you do it. But even if your spouse is coming into anything of this sort, whether they're gone for paramedic school or training for the military or whatever, I mean, we can't speak on military experience because we don't have that. But just that your spouse, your significant other is gone and you're home alone with the kids, like, it's tough. And I feel like us moms need a huge support system, and I love the support system that I have. I have my good girlfriends that are so supportive, and I just adore my friendships with them, and that really has been helping me get through this time because I'm able to go over there and spend time with my girlfriends and still live a little, you know. So it's tough, but we're holding on to, like, just the beautiful the light at the end of the tunnel. And I know there's gonna be beautiful, like, I just picture this beautiful life after this. Not that it's gonna be easy by any means. Like, life is always gonna give you ups and downs. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty proud of where we've come in 6 years. And I never thought that we'd be going through medic school with 2 kids living at his in-laws 6 years later. But that's what we're doing, and I couldn't be more proud of you. That is it for our How We Met Paramedic School life update. I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and if you guys want to see more storytime videos, I guess, I don't know, I've seen a lot of those lately where people just kind of like want to know more about you and your life and stuff. But if you guys want to know more about that, then just let me know, and I would love to do like some sit-down videos and just telling you guys stuff about my life. But anyways, that's it for today. We're gonna go enjoy the rest of our anniversary and just have a good time. All right, bye guys.